Other traditions probably share this perspective, but in the Pathwork we work a lot with this. You know, in all therapeutic models, usually there's some focus put on the life story. The family that you were born into, the cultural background, the particular circumstances, and the effects that that had on you, and the residue that's remaining in your day-to-day life now. And in the Pathwork, we have a phase of the work that's very much focused on the life story. And of course, in all therapeutic models, there has to be empathy there. There has to be compassion. There has to be a certain amount of time and space where the person can just be in the telling of their story. And it might be the first time they're telling it, and it might be the 30th time they've told it. But you, as a practitioner, as a therapist, you're really listening into the energy of how the story is being told, if it's the first time or if it's the 30th time, and what's there, you know, how is the story being held? And what consciousness does the person have about their part or their place in the story and the meaning of the story to them? Because just the retelling and retelling and retelling of a story, we're coming to see is really, most of the time, not a really useful thing for people. But there has to be a certain amount of it. In the Pathwork, we hold every single little aspect of the story as very important and very holds very specific guidance as to the person's task, as to their purpose in being here, and as to their even as to their makeup, to their gifts, to their challenges, to everything that lives in themselves as an entity will show up in their life story. And it all has meaning and great significance. So as the Pathwork helper, I'm listening into all of that. And again, you know, the different layers. There's the one layer that the person really needs to tell their story. They need to be heard. For the painful parts, they need to have empathy and compassion, because when that's modeled to them, they learn to have it for themselves. Because of course, what often happens with trauma, with neglect, or with abuse, whether it's on the mega off the scale proportions, or what, you know, we might have called in the past a more benign kind of neglect or disregard, you know, it has quite an effect on the spirit. And in all that cacophony, which is never ever a straight line, healed, because that's why we're here. We're here to heal. And in the Pathwork, we believe that each person who comes into life has agreed to come in, and has agreed to come in to resolve something, to heal something, to transform something. And that's something, the nugget of it, the essence of it, will be some aspect of spiritual principles. And this very brave soul has agreed to come into this planet Earth, and you know, kind of a cloud of unknowing passes over, and then you're just a human being and you're struggling on your human life path. And but you're still working towards, you know, there's a place inside that never loses sight, even if like you're like totally going down wrong roads and all kinds of things. It's all part of the journey. And you're seeking meaning, and you're seeking the understanding, and you're seeking the embracing of this thing that at certain points you're just going like, get that as far away from me as possible. But you know, so in the therapeutic process, helping the person to really embrace it, bring it into unity, to work with it, to develop skill in working with it. And that skill is one thing that I feel the Pathwork has a tremendous amount to offer the world, because it is such a beautiful blend of very sound psychological theory and practices, as well as bringing the big picture spiritual context that it's all being enacted and held in.